And here we are. Devlog 5 or 6, depending on how you count. This is the final one I'm counting today. This is the final one that will be uploaded in the premiere of my YouTube channel. And this will be the final one before I start doing weekly updates. Weekly. We'll see. I'll try my best, but hey man, what happens happens. Let's talk about today, because today is actually my favorite day so far. And that is because of this funky guy, the security piston. The security piston is the first enemy that I've ever made or worked on, and it includes the first ever code that I'd ever written myself. It's 2 lines, that's it, nothing particularly special, but it's special to me because I'd never written code by myself before, and up until this point, including to this point, I'm obviously, because it's only 2 lines, and the script for the security piston is, 180, 150. I'd been relying on ChatGPT and tutorials on how to get this to this point. Now then, let's talk about what I've done today. Very exciting stuff. First things first, I wanted to get the wheels down. Now, initially my idea was I was just going to animate them separately, and then I'd have a blend tree tell me, hey, this is when it's animating, this is when it's not animating, blah, 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 blah. Hooray. I still might do that just because I'm not sure if I want to figure out if physics is working or not. I can check, actually. I'll check today. I'll check in the devlog. How about that? You know what? Let's do it. Okay. So, theoretically speaking, as it rotates, not all of the wheels should be spinning. And as it stands, I'm not entirely sure if any of the wheels are spinning. Oh boy. Spoilers. I'm actually decently sure none of them are spinning. Hooray. That means I have more work to do in the sky. Don't worry. I'll figure it out. It's an easy fix, I'm sure. Or it's not, and it'll cause me to bang my head onto my keyboard. Either or, I'll figure it out today. I want it figured out today. So by the next devlog, it'll be fixed. As well as the materials being fucked up, because for some reason these fuck-ass wheels decided that they didn't want to listen, and just the texture was not working. I'm sure it's a Blender issue, and I'm sure if I re-import, everything will be fixed and everything will be solved. These wheels are supposed to be black. I'm this close to just fixing it in Godot instead of Blender and just leaving it as white because I don't want to fucking deal with this anymore. But whatever. Not that big a deal. Moving on. What did I do today? Well, first I had worked on the wheels, which evidently did not work. But second, I worked on the siren. Now, this model, you'll notice that the top of it is not translucent. And that is because the siren is actually part of the body. This whole thing, including the piston and the siren, are all one model, and the wheels are all separate. So technically, this whole creature is only 4 moving parts. This whole model is only 4 moving parts. And so I was having trouble figuring out the siren. I eventually figured out I didn't have to make anything translucent. I just had to change the beam. Or I just changed the range in the attenuation, and that actually fixed everything, so hooray, I guess. I guess the range can change to... What's the vision area range? That's not collision shape. 15. I can change the siren like to 15. Why not? Why wouldn't I do that? That makes the most sense anyways. What does that look like? Is that ugly? Is that too big? Let's find out. Hold on. Where's the siren? I guess it doesn't change anything too much, but it is now a little bit more accurate, which I'm happy with. Hooray for accuracy! Anyways, moving on. The siren adds a little bit of ambiance to this freaky dude. It gives him more of like an authoritarian presence. He's already creepy, but I wanted to make him even more so creepy. I wanted to make him more animated. Because as it stands, he would have just been a box with a light on his head, and I didn't want that. That would be silly. So, how did I do that without actually doing any more Blender animation? Well, I'd established the Siren Knight, and I had gone to the script, and I programmed it rotating. Siren rotate speed. I'm pretty sure that's the whole thing, except Siren light, here we are. Yeah, that's. Oh, here we go. This is the process. That's the whole thing. So once I figured out the siren light, my first idea was that the vision area would be actually attached to the siren light, and because of that, it would ultimately you'd go into it and then it would chase after you. But I'd quickly come to realize there was a little bit of an issue there, and that was that when the siren would rotate, it would rotate out of the player, and it would stop chasing the player because the player wasn't in the siren anymore. You could have fixed that by making the siren follow the player, I guess, but I think that's a little bit silly. I didn't want to do that, so instead, I'd elected to making the site just sort of a vague space that's around the same as the size of the light now. But initially it was just sort of a vague sensor. Just walked around, and now if you're in this box, no matter what, it's going to chase after you. The animation tree I actually set up yesterday. No, that's actually a lie. I set up the animation tree today. I tried to set up the animation tree yesterday, but yeah. Didn't answer what?
Huh?
Didn't answer what?
I texted you.
Texted me.
I just asked if you would be okay with that name sticker for your water bottle.
I get no.
Oh. Find one for me and send it to me.
Why do I need a name sticker?
Because you're going to be carrying it around and you don't want to get lost.
Okay. Whatever. Thanks, Mom.
Okay.
My mom, ladies and gentlemen. Anyways. Right. I tried to do the animation tree yesterday, but I did it a little bit differently. I tried to do the animation tree the same way that I did the animation tree for the player, which is by blending. You would blend each animation, and when something goes from 0 to 1, hey-oh, now it's the animation. Yippee, yippee, hooray. Only problem. It kept looping the punch no matter what. No matter what, it would just keep looping the punch. And that is because of a little something called one-shots. So, the punch one-shot is what I have now. And the animation tree, it works a little bit differently. So it still does blend, by all accounts. But it blends in a short burst. So well, technically, that's not how it works either. It turns the blending from a match enumerator into a boolean. And the way it works is, instead of going true or false, you set the status of the animation tree from either abort or fire. And I just set it so where when it's in attack mode, it fires, and any other time, it aborts. Now, what does attack mode even mean? Well, just because I didn't use enumerators for the animation tree doesn't mean I didn't use enumerators at all. In fact, I have 2 enumerators here, and a whole one of them that works. The other one doesn't work. I don't know what to say. I'll figure it out, I guess. It's the wheels. The wheels are the ones that don't work. But the enumerator that does work is the states. So every state has a different logic to it, and that logic will have the enemy do whatever the state dictates. So function update AI behavior. The state patrol, it sort of spins around. It spins around, and it has the vision box. That's all it has. And if you enter the vision box, then its entire purpose is to state change to state chase. And state chase, its entire purpose is to follow you until you get within 2 meters. Once you get within 2 meters, then it attacks. And when it attacks, it changes to state attack, which is a pass, because I really only needed state attack to be a variable. But if state attack passes, then what happens? I'm so glad you asked. Well, if state attack passes, then the state becomes null, and if the target state is null, then the current state changes to state patrol, and we start all over. Yippee, yippee, hooray! Exciting, exciting stuff. So, the difficulties I'd faced was I'd never coded anything before. Much less an enemy or an AI. I didn't even know what I was looking at. So I actually didn't use a YouTube tutorial for this. This is entirely a culmination of the little bit of knowledge that I'd culminated from, or accumulated from writing the player script, and ChatGPT doing basically most of the heavy lifting and teaching me how to do things properly. That's not to say I wasn't doing anything, obviously. As always, I wasn't just copy and pasting code. I've been trying to figure it out. I've been bug testing. I've been going in and out. I've been trying to learn how do I write. I'm learning how to read right now. Right now I'm learning how to read. You have to learn how to read before you can learn how to write. But that's not to say I didn't write a little bit of something. See, I noticed a bug where, well, it's not really a bug. It worked entirely as intended. There was no errors. But if you run away from the enemy, it stops chasing you because you left the vision area. So how did we fix that? Well, the first solution, theoretically, could be to just increase the vision area. But then you have your own problems there. And those problems being, well, now it has unreasonable AI tracking where it just sort of knows where you are even if it can't see you. It just goes through walls and sees you. And it's like, oh, hey, how's it going? Let me go attack you now. That's silly. So, I had introduced 2 different visions that I had written completely by myself. No help from ChatGPT. I'd done this on myself as its own solution. First time ever doing this. This is what I did. I had installed a second Area 3D and second Collision Shape 3D. So the first one was simply just sight. And vision area, that is this smaller box right here. This smaller box, if you enter this, the AI activates and comes to attack you. Yippee. But once you get out of that, it stops attacking you. Unless you do what I did. And what I did was I introduced a larger shape. This is the aggro area. And the way this works, it only is active during chase. And it creates a lot larger of a vision, so that way it's a lot more aggressive. It keeps coming after you. You can run as fast as you can, and it will still go after you unless you can manage to escape this larger box. Now, why is the box larger? Well, because I figured it's not unreasonable to say that this bot has a little bit of AI in it, in canon, that can sort of assume your position. And so while the vision is, it sees you, the aggro is, now it's guessing where you are until it sees you. The script that I'd written was aggro area dot replaced by vision area, and vision area dot replaced by aggro area. Now, if you're familiar with Godot, you're gonna know that's fucking overkill. It's completely unnecessary. Now, the actual way you would do this, if you were trying to write as efficiently as possible, is you would write aggro area equals or aggro area monitoring equals on or true or false, aggro area or vision area monitoring true or false, and that's it. That's all you really have to do. But I didn't want to ask ChatGPT on how to do it. I wanted this solution, since it was fairly small. I thought that I had the knowledge necessary to sort of maybe figure out a way to do this myself. So I started looking for commands by typing into the center. First, I looked at swap. Okay, swap wasn't anything. Then I looked for replace. And replace wasn't anything. But then I tried dot swap. And that wasn't anything. So then I tried dot replace. And that's when it auto-corrected to this. Which it didn't right there. But it did when I was writing the statement. So, whatever. What replace does is it completely makes it so that the vision area node ceases to exist. And then the aggro area is the only node that exists. And then when you leave, or when you enter aggro, it does the opposite. It makes it so only the aggro area exists, and the vision area doesn't exist anymore. I'm very proud of that. That's my first ever line. It's going to be the, description of my Instagram profile picture. Or my Instagram profile, the works. I am insurmountably excited about this. This is my first time ever writing code. Okay, so now we have the aggro, now we have the vision, now we have the siren, and then, okay, well, I wanted to push attack. That's what the piston is for in the first place. Technically, it does damage, but without a healing system in place, damage doesn't really mean much. So, function, punch, hit on body. When you are within the 2 meters, it attacks, and when it starts attacking, it plays this function. This function, all it really does is knock you back. And when all of it is together in a nice little stew, everything is all said and done, then you have a funky little guy going in circles, until it sees you. And then it pushes you. And then you can go into it again. And up. Okay. Alright. And you can go into it again. Up, 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 up. Oh. Ooh. Now, a cool thing that I noticed, and I might turn this into a tech that's important later for the game, but if you do air control while it pushes you out, you actually can jump about twice as far. And I think that is a lot of fun. That is my first ever creation, my first ever code, and I'm very proud of this guy. He will be my profile picture, and that string of code will be my description, and he is going to be my mascot for years to come. Maybe forever. Hopefully forever. I intend it to be forever. But that is devlog 5 or 6, depending on how you count. And from now on, I'm going to hope to record weekly. Maybe I'll stream occasionally. Don't count on it. Don't hold your breath. I might. If I do, I'll announce it on my Instagram. Because, yeah, whatever. But there we go. That's what I've been doing. That's what you've been missing when I've only posted one devlog. And now, when I say I'll see you next time, I don't mean in 20 seconds. I mean next week or whenever you so choose. I'm not the boss of you. I don't care what you do. Do whatever you want. A wise man once said, time enjoyed is not time wasted, or something. So, if you're not enjoying this, you're wasting your time by being here. Get the fuck out of here. Have a wonderful day.